Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 236. Bitcoin crashing, technical analysis edition. Oh no, what's happening? Bitcoin is going down in flames. Yeah, guys, if you're catching this from live, welcome. And if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you're thinking. Also, if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. Links in the description, guys. Again, no news today. I've been working on presentations all day long. Sorry for that. And really hadn't had any time to go and look at the news. I just basically had seconds to set up the stream. I have like cables dangling in front of me. You can't see them. This light over here, it's like moving my camera, and it shouldn't be there, man. Just had to do a quick setup before before starting, but thank you for joining us today, this awesome Saturday night. I hope you're having a great time. Bitcoin crashed. We talked about that yesterday being a possibility. Yeah, no news, bro. I'm talking about the 1K drop. That's it, man. If you remember yesterday, I told you guys where my exit was, right? $9,600. It triggered. I triggered at 9,600. I sold. I told you guys I was looking for that movement to the downside. Bitcoin was looking a little bit weak. We had divergence. We knew we were like consolidating upsloping, which is a bearish consolidation. We knew there was a possibility. We talked about a potential pullback. I also did state that there was a possibility that we could pump. Now, I'm not going to deny that because there was a possibility we could have gone up on the weekend, right? I told you the weekend we're probably going to get movement. We have the halving event coming in on Tuesday, and we know there's a chance that we're going to have some kind of a battle going on for prices. It could just be a scare before a final pump. Maybe it isn't. Maybe the market will just keep on crashing. You know, maybe already had the pre-pump or the pre-halving pump. But all these is still yet to be determined. So, you know, let's jump on to the technicals and start looking at what happened, right? Again, that little tip jar that's there is just because some people had started tipping it. Not that you need to tip for the stream. If you want to do it, that's great. But if you don't, that's also great. I just do this for, you know, because I want to be here and I want to talk about crypto. But, you know, again, if you like what we do, hit that like, that bell, and that sub. And all those coins that are in that jar are the tips that have been going on from before. I just never cleared it. We haven't gotten that many tips. But, you know, they're really appreciated, by the way. So let's move on to technicals, right? What's happening? Total market cap. We talked about losing market cap, remember? Look, we lost a lot of market cap. Take a big drop. $25 billion flew out of the cryptosphere today. Why today? Because, well, tomorrow, right? 26th or 10th of May, sorry. Why tomorrow? Because the market already closed, right? It closed at midnight UTC. We're like 3 hours before that. So the market still has almost 21 hours to go, right? 20 hours and like 53 minutes until we conclude the day. But again, so 3 hours and change for me, right? But again, we talked about losing market cap. We lost it. We hit it 20. We're trying to hold it. There's nothing else happening. We're neutral on the other side, 51.40, right? Again, let's see if we hold a 20 and if we can try and get a bounce. And that would potentially be good, right? Try to get a bounce in this area. Could potentially try to go higher. Again, create positive momentum. A new positive momentum island. Could just be a really short drop. We talked about a correction coming in, right? We talked yesterday about pullback. I said, look, we've been going up. We haven't gotten any pullback. And we got a very, very strong pullback, man. So again, I'm not too worried about this. That's why I told you guys I was setting up a stop loss or a take profit in this case for me at $9,600. So I did save, like on the crash, right? I'm looking for potential in again. I'm not sure if we're going to get a bounce or a pullback. We already got pullback happening from that drop we had, and we'll discuss that in a second. Yesterday, Bitcoin lost 0.69%. Today is losing 0.14%, sitting at 67.86% of market cap. You know, the price of Bitcoin at 8,599, right? Almost 8,600. Again, not the best for Bitcoin. We did take a drop, like I said. Let's look at the other chart, right? We called this divergence. What happened is that we ended up closing below a critical support, right? That 9,564. And sadly, I cannot zoom in any more, but I can do this. It'll just look a little bit messy, right? And if you look at this, I'm trying to get this to move to where I want it to. There we go. There we go. Alrighty, so if you look at this, right, we did drop below this area, that 9,564. What happened in the next candle, right? We tried to rally. Where to? Well, the highest we got, right, was 9,565.20. So I had this at 9,664.99. So let's technically say it's 9,565. So we ended up closing like 20 cents above that, and we rejected. So we knew it was an area where we could reject and be looking for prices to the downside. That's why I'm not surprised that this dropped more. Now, what I do like is that we already hit the 20. We're bouncing from it, so we're not taking any lower levels. We did drop below also the 786, that 9,087 area. And we were heading for that 618 at $7,866, right? We haven't quite hit it yet. I'm not sure we're going to hit it. I'm hoping that we get a bounce here. I do believe we could get still potential green day coming in, maybe tomorrow or day after. But take into account that Europe is going to wake up at 2 in the morning for me, Central Time, and they're going to see that the market's down. So Europe might be feeling bearish when they see this. And if they determine that they want to take their money out, we could see a potential drop overnight. And then America is going to wake up to a lower price on Bitcoin. And that's not good, right? Maybe some people in America are going to like say, man, it's cheaper, right? Let's buy some Bitcoin and take that next rally to the upside. But right now, what I'm looking at is I'm probably going to be awake until 2 in the morning, trying to, besides my finishing what I have to do with work, but I'll have the chart open. I'm going to try to see what happens at the time, that 2 in the morning to 3 in the morning candle, to determine whether or not we're going to drop again. And I'm really, really hoping that we're not going to drop, man, because I really want to see this going up on the 12th, right? I still want to see some rally pre-halving. Like I said, I'm not sure we're going to get that. I do hope we get it. Still yet to be determined, right? Technicals that are happening right now, not a lot, right? We have this other chart over here. We did drop below that 9,650 on this chart. We have things to the upside, right? All the resistances, right? So we're back up on this channel, right? This uprising channel that we had, and that's fine. So like I said, we're neutral on the RSI at 53.02. We're losing that positive momentum. In some charts, we were making negative momentum at some point in time. Right now, it seems like we don't really have it, but the lowest we got, right, was 8,133 on that flash crash, right? That was just right on 7 p.m., guys. And we'll look at that on the 1 hour chart. I was looking at it, I was like, man, I'm glad I took it out earlier, because then when I started to crash, I was like so relieved, man, that I did the right play and executed my exit strategy just like I had it planned. Now, on the 4 hours, right, this 4 hour candle still has 49 minutes to go. As you can tell, we dropped below the 20. We're pushing farther back down. That's fine. Last thing we called was bearish divergence, right? We did move down. We hit the 20, right? We flirted with this area of 9,650. That was today, right? May the 9th at 3 in the morning. I wasn't awake here. I didn't take out my money here. I took it out on this area when we were crashing, or we were moving down and flirting with it a couple times here on that 3 p.m., I think. So that's when I actually pulled out my money around 9,600. And I'm waiting for a new in, right? So, like I said, I'm waiting for a pullback to happen here. We were getting pullback a little bit from the drop, and you'll see it on the 1 hour. But again, right now, nothing else is happening, right? Well, kind of, sort of something's happening, but not on the 4 hour, right? We're going from a low to a lower low, and negative momentum to more negative momentum. A while back, it was up here around 8,700, and we were slightly higher, and we could have like talked about having hidden bullish divergence that could potentially mean price action to the upside. But right now, I'm really waiting for this to finish, right? We had a long impulse down. We gotta wait for some consolidation to happen, right? And then we can look at the next move. But I do believe that whatever consolidation we get is going to be very short-lived, because again, the market is probably going to make a move at 2 in the morning. And tomorrow at 7 in the morning, it's probably going to move again. Those are time central, so if you're in the East Coast, like add up 1 hour. On the 4 hours, we went all the way from overbought a couple days ago, right on the 7th, to all the way oversold right now. So at 7 p.m., right, that 7 p.m. candle at 28.15. Again, waiting for this to go back up or determining what it wants to do. Well, it's just going to depend on what kind of consolidation pattern we make. Right now at 8,469, right? We're starting to come back in from that oversold territory. Nothing really to trace here on the 4 hours right now. So let's go to the 1 hour chart and figure out what's happening there. Sorry about the lights. They're way, way too bright. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this, man. Like I said, I was messing really quick pre-stream, trying to get everything set up properly. And I I probably missed some stuff real quick, and sorry about that. But I am trying to get the... There we go. I do believe that's much better in illumination. I was probably like burning your eyes with my, like, you know, reflecting so much light from the skin. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I had to do a really quick setup. Now, what we're looking at here, right? I kind of like. I'm not gonna say I dislike this, because this kind of consolidation where we downslope, right? It gets us exhausted of selling. So at some point in time, we're going to end up creating bullish divergence and pump, right? So this is on the 1 hour chart. Now, this came here from the 4 hour, I believe. The daily. Sorry. Send it back there to the daily. There we go. And, alrighty. So let's look at this chart, right? Let's figure out what's happening. We had divergence. We were calling for this bullish divergence. We were trying to see this price go up, but we hit the 20 a couple times. Yesterday, when we were on the stream, we were here and we were trying to move up, but we were failing at the 20. We talked about what happens when we fail at the 20 and what we look for. So we failed at the 20. We moved down. I was expecting a movement down. I told you guys maybe heading towards that 9,650 area. And see if we were going to create divergence. We didn't create divergence, right? We went lower with more negative momentum and lower on the RSI. So no divergence was created. So what do we expect? Okay, potentially a bounce because we were hitting a support, which we did get, right? And it might even look better here on this other chart, right? At 9,564. We did get that bounce, right off this area. So we bounced on it. We headed for that 20. And what happened when we got to the 20? We failed. And what happens when we fail at 20? We break below. That break below started to get us tighter between the 20 and the 9,564 resistance or support now. And, you know, we broke below it, and that is what's triggering us to move lower, right? So we're bearish to get above the 20. We fell below a critical support, and we just moved down from there. Now, now that we've talked about that, what do we have to do? We gotta wait for consolidation to happen. It might be quick. We could get another leg to come in, right, and drop more, and you know, consolidate a little bit, drop more, create less negative momentum, and then find that new in again for that new pump to come in on Bitcoin. Again, I don't want to be over bullish right now. I don't want to be overly bearish. I really want to see how it goes because we do have the halving event coming in, and there's a potential that with that event we might still get another pump. Again, on the RSI, we're sitting oversold at 12.71. And when was the last time we were actually that low? Alt H. Sorry, I wanted that one. Control Alt H. There we go. Last time we were there. I'm looking, man. I think the last time we were there was March the 12th. Right, when we took this massive drop, and from then we started to climb slowly, right? So we're taking a massive drop, right? It's more, we took a more significant drop back here. To be honest, let me gauge how much percentage-wise we moved down. This was a 17% drop, right, on the 1 hour. And here we're talking about taking a how much did we drop? A 8% drop. So again, we did drop more. Again, waiting for this to really consolidate a little bit and see if we get a new rally to come in, right? A new bullish rally. Again, like I told you guys, probably some people are going to take their money out pre-halving, right? They're probably some people are going to say, that's a good enough price for me. I'm going to sell what I have, wait for the halving event, and then really try to consider what's going to happen afterwards. Right now, I wouldn't be advising against shorting or longing Bitcoin because right now we're in a position where we're going to try to determine where we want to go. And we could really go either way right now. We could take another drop and create divergence, or we could try to do a pullback and rally up. And that's been done before by Bitcoin, no problem, right? In just a matter of hours, right? Without a lot of divergence being developed here. We've got this massive, like this potential rally coming in where we recovered a little bit of the losses, right? So again, there could be another rally coming in, potentially hitting that 9,200 area before we actually drop again. Or try to consolidate. I'm still to be determined, right? What's going to happen? We haven't really done much. Post drop, it's just been, you know, dropping a little bit more, but small amounts every time, and we're getting this bullish sentiment, right? A lot of people probably got liquidated on their longs here also, and that's probably why we also saw this drop, and that's why we got this much pullback, right? The pullback we got was massive, from 8,100 all the way up to 8,700. So we got a like $600 pullback. Right now we're seeing bullish sentiment, right? The price was trying to go down, and we're seeing the bulls push the price back up. And again, that's why I'm telling you guys we need to wait for this consolidation to happen before we actually call the next move. So be careful tonight if you're gonna set up your trades. You know, like I said, consider maybe that Europe might sell overnight. And that's gonna be it for Bitcoin. I'm gonna move on to Ethereum. If you guys want to talk about anything else, let me know, man. I know Bitcoin, you like to talk about DVT, man. Did it go up today or did it take a drop? Let me know in case you're watching us or you're with us. Let me know if how DVT went, man. Ethereum yesterday gained market cap 1.39%. Today's losing 1.73%, sitting at 8.87% of market cap. The price of Ethereum at $185.91. What's it doing? Well, what did we say it was going to do? Same thing that Bitcoin does, right? So Bitcoin's taking a drop. Ethereum is taking a drop. Had over 1 million DVT volume today. But what's the price? Did it go up or did it go down? Ethereum. Okay, so what's happening with Ethereum? We talked about this, right? We're failing to get above that 618 at 213. And we knew there was a possibility we were going to go down if Bitcoin was going to go down, right? What do I think about XRP, Robert Wood? Excellent question. If you bear with me for a second, from this coin, Ethereum, I'm going to move on to XRP. That's the next one I look at, right? So, yeah, I'll definitely talk about it. Just give me 1 second. Let me finish Ethereum, and I'll move on to XRP. Ethereum, I usually don't spend that much time on Ethereum or the other coins unless someone asks, because most of the analysis right now, it's one analysis fits most. Bitcoin dropped, everyone's dropping, right? Bitcoin dropped yesterday, or it's going down today 10%. Ethereum's down 11%. XRP's down 10.63. Litecoin's down 10 or 11, depending on which chart. And then Binance is down 10. So every one of the major coins is following Bitcoin. The market's moving in sync. So Ethereum moving down again below the 20. We knew it was a possibility. We ended up dropping below the 50% line, and I don't like that. I wish we get some pullback. We ended up dropping below 193, which was a valid resistance that should have become a valid support, and we just went through it like butter, man. I do believe we might see something on the 1 hour. We could have scaled down a little bit, but I'm not 100% positive yet. We don't have anything bearish to call or anything bullish. Neutral on the RSI at 45.83. The last time we called was bearish divergence back here. Got to play out, drop below that, what was this one, 213 area. Failed to get above it, and then we went down from there, right? So again, charts have been up for a while. These targets have been there for some time. If you guys follow the stream, you know what we're talking about, right? And you know that they're been there for a while, man. They have not been moved in a long time. I rarely clean my charts or move what I've done before, and that's all to check the math of what we talked about on the stream. So last thing we called was bearish divergence, right? We were developing it, price action to the downside. We did manage to pump one more on the 8th, so we could really trace it to there and trace it to there. And then, price action to the downside again, breaking us below that 213. And then, same time that Bitcoin started to drop, Ethereum started to drop, right? Oversold at 27.03. Nothing else to call right now. We're going lower than the previous low. That would be this one, this island here, with more negative momentum, right, and lower on that RSI. So not a lot happening with Ethereum, right? I don't want to go back here, mainly because we do have this island, it is valid, and we had divergence here that played up to the upside. And this would be another island. This is a minor island, but you got to go to the previous island, and that's why I don't want to go back here for the technical, right? If you want to go back here, you would be anchoring, and I wouldn't suggest it, right? But you will be anchoring from here to here. And then from here to here, and you would have strong bullish divergence, but I don't believe we're going to get that. Right? It's going to depend on Bitcoin. Zach Musa, how's it doing, man? How you doing, man? Hey, do I think it's a good time to invest in Bitcoin? I know it's dropping, but how much more do I think it will drop before it jumps back up? All right, we talked about that, right? We need to wait. We're going to have some kind of consolidation happening. You got to take into account, Europe is going to come in online at 2 in the morning, and we got to determine what Europe's going to do. So if you're going to be up by 2 in the morning Central, which is the time frame I'm on, that's the only reference I can tell you. If you're Eastern, it will be 1 in the morning for you. But if you're on the Eastern Coast, 1 in the morning, Europe comes online. Europe's going to see that the market's dropping, and we might want to see what happens there, right? So I just finished doing Bitcoin. I'm moving on to Ethereum. Someone already requested XRP right before you, man. So if you wait for me to finish Ethereum, I'll go XRP, and then I'll go back to Bitcoin and touch up on it again real quick. And then from then on, I'll move on to Litecoin and Ethereum, right? So just bear with me for a second, my guys. Let me finish going through Ethereum real quick. Already, so like I said, overbought. We're gonna probably get some pullback from here. On the 1 hour, it wouldn't be surprising that we're getting pullback a little bit. And like I said, I wouldn't be buying or putting too much stock on the strong bullish divergence yet, because we do have this island here. Now let's go to the 1 hour chart. What's happening on the 1 hour? We're completely oversold at 13.60. Again, negative momentum, more negative momentum, going much lower, consolidating down, right? Just like Bitcoin is, right? No worries, man. Thank you for tuning in, though, Zach. Usually the stream flows by me doing the news first and then going into technicals, but I've been having a really hectic day today with real life work. And I didn't have time to do the news, so I just jumped onto the technicals. And then it usually flows Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Binance, and then touch up on whatever coin you guys want. But if you ask for Bitcoin or any other coin, before I move on to the next coin, I will go back and touch up on that. But thank you for asking, and don't feel bad, man. It's no problem, and that's what we're here for. I just wanted to let you know that I will get to it. Just bear with me for a second. Alrighty, so last thing we called on Ethereum was bearish divergence, action to downside. We've been moving down since. Again, breaking below that 213 was critical, and we couldn't get above it. We'd fought and flirted with that area for a while, so we knew it was a chance we could break down from that, and we did, right? Bitcoin did it, and right now we're getting down sloping consolidation, and this is very, very sharp down sloping consolidation. Usually you get exhausted from this. At some point in time, this is going to start to round off. We're probably going to still go lower, create some bullish divergence, and then try to get a pump from that. That's what would usually happen, right? I don't have anything else to call here on the 1 hour, except that we're completely oversold. So we could expect some pullback to happen. I'm not sure. There's two ways to get back to that neutral area here on the RSI. We either pump on the price and get back here quickly, or we slowly start to move sideways, and this will become the new normal, and this just will be the average, right? And then we slowly get back in here. I do believe we're going to get another pump on Bitcoin, right, prior to the halving event. So that's it for Ethereum. Keep on watching how this keeps on consolidating. Right now it hasn't finished consolidating. We just have 3 candles. We'll figure it out, and then we'll see where it goes from there, or where we could target from there. XRP. What is happening with XRP, right? On the daily. Yesterday it gained dominance, 0.95%. Today it's losing dominance, but it's getting some, starting to gain a little bit, right? It lost quite a bit and it's starting to gain back up a little bit, 0.38%. Sitting at 3.69% of market cap, and that's too sad. XRP has not been able to get above 4% for a couple days now, and that's not good. The price of XRP, 19 cents, 19.464 cents. Where are we, man? We're hitting a critical support area. We're actually sitting on support. That 19,440, we're sitting at 1946, right? So we're at this support. Again, we broke back into this rectangle that we don't want to be in. We're below the 20. We knew we were going to get resistance around the 22 cent area. We really wanted to get above that 26 cent area. And as you can tell, yesterday, I told you guys there was a big chance we could go and hit that 22 cent area, 22.65. And we did, and after we hit that, we rejected, right? You can see that we got very, very close to it. Now, like I said, this has been out since yesterday. You can go look at what time frame we were doing the stream. I believe by the time we were doing the stream last night, we hadn't quite hit that high. And that will be very easy to look at. We can look at the 1 hour and see what time we hit that high. And it was on the 9th at 1 a.m. So yesterday at 1 a.m., right? So again, we knew it was an area where we could reject, and maybe by the time I did the stream, we were already rejected, right? But again, we knew it was a chance we could reject on this area. So the 9th is today. Sorry, we were here yesterday. Yeah, we were opening. So 1 in the morning, maybe we weren't getting that movement yet, right? Anyways, moving down right now. Neutral on the other side, 43. Let's see if we can trace something. Low, higher, low, negative momentum, less negative momentum, low on the other side, higher on the other side. We don't have anything on XRP on the daily to look for. We're just breaking below. Oh, we're sitting still on that support. If this support holds, we could potentially try to see some retrace happening, right, slowly. Unless Bitcoin retraces hard, then we might see a strong pullback. But right now, I do believe we're probably going to try to get back up to this plateau again, and then back up to this plateau, and then after that, move up from there. Let's go to the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, what's happening? Last thing we called was yesterday. at 7 p.m. So we were live on the stream. We were calling that bearish divergence. Thank you, just $1,000 in XRP. Cross your fingers for you. Wow. Yeah, man. Hopefully you get some pullback, man. Right now, like I said, the market, we need to wait for consolidation to happen, right? If you like this channel, hit that like and that subscribe and that bell, right? That way you're notified when we go live. Twitter's going out right now. You can join me on Twitter as well. Like I said, moving down again, bearish divergence on the 4 hours. We called that yesterday. What happened? We tried to move up right on the next candle, right after the stream was done. So like I told you guys, that movement to the upside was coming. And then from then on, it was just a crash to the downside, right? On the bearish divergence that we had. We could trace this to there and track that to there. And we still have that strong bearish divergence. Action to the downside, breaking down. Oversold at 23.22 on the RSI. Again, sitting on the support. Let's go to the 1 hour. Not much. Oh, sorry, on the 4 hour. I might have missed something. Let's see. Low, lower, low, negative momentum, more negative. No, that's fine. Didn't miss it. Let's go on the 1 hour. What is happening on the 1 hour chart? Action to the upside, right? Let's see. So high, lower, high, positive, less positive. That's fine. Last thing we called was on the 7th, bearish divergence on the 1 hour. Price action to the downside. Did we miss this one? Yes, because this happened at 1 in the morning, right? So we were off the air. We hadn't developed this. What happened when we went off the air, man? Well, we went slightly higher here, as you can tell, right? Because this would have been 1 in the morning. We were live at 10. That would have been this candle here. So this on the 1 hour, that's fine. And what happened there, man? We went lower, right? So we're going to a higher point on the price, and we're going lower on our MACD, creating strong bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. That broke us below the 20. We struggled to get above the 20 and stay above the 20. And part of that's what's breaking us down. We also had tightness of the Bollinger Bands. Look at how tight the Bollinger Bands got, man. That means a lot of volatility left the market. So we had, when volatility leaves the market, we expect explosive moves, either upside or downside, right? Volatility is not an indicator of where the action is going to go to. It's just that action is going to come once volatility, getting tongue twisted. Once volatility leaves, there we go. And right now we're sitting oversold on that RSI at 12.95. Again, consolidation. What happens? See, we hit this plateau, then we move on to this lower plateau. So to get back up, we're probably going to get back up to this area and then up to this area, right? So again, I'm targeting potentially right now on a movement to the upside, 19.758 cents. From then on, 20 cents again. And 20 cents on the dot, right? 20 cents on the dot is going to be psychological resistance. So watch out for that 20 cents. Again, really want to wait for this to consolidate because we're going lower, making more negative momentum. So right now we don't have anything that's bullish inside, right? We're just going lower and lower. I'm not going to place the channel yet. I'm not going to anchor it to this low and then anchor here. I'm still going to determine how I want to anchor this. I might just go with the bodies, right? And not go so much with the wicks. It's going to depend on how this keeps on consolidating, how I'm going to basically chart it. I just want for the market to cool off a little bit, right? Consolidate, cool off, and then get the next move, right? Or try to get the next move. All right, that's it for XRP. Now, Zach, you asked about Bitcoin. I'm going to go back to Bitcoin real quick and then move on to Litecoin. And if you guys want to look at any other coins, let me know. It'll be Litecoin, Binance, and then whatever coins you want to look at. We usually, after that, look at gold, silver, stocks, and oil. But we're not going to do any of that because the markets are closed, right? It's a weekend. So we'll just do crypto on Saturdays and Sundays. And Sunday we might do some markets because some stuff starts to open by the time we do the stream. So back to Bitcoin, all right? What's happening? We had divergence. We called it out a couple days ago. We said, watch out, potential price action to the downside. We did move down. We targeted 9,650. Yeah, man, Robert, no problem. We can do XLM. So we target 9,650. We moved down from there. Again, we knew it was going to happen. On this other chart, we have this support at 9,564, and you can tell that we broke below it. We opened below it. We tried to rally, right? We talked about being like 20 cents away from that, right? And if you look at this, we have a very, very small wick here. You might not be able to see it on your screens. I'll stretch this real quick. You can see here, there's this very, very tiny wick going up, hitting that area of that 9,000. I have it at 9,564.99, so we can round it off at 9,565. This, the height, was 9,565.20, so 20 cents above our resistance, right? It became support, it became resistance, and we were too weak to stay above it, and we broke down from there. Now, on this other chart, I have it at 9,650 because that used to be an old resistance that we have way, way back. it wasn't respected that much. The newer one was more respected, but right now we're bouncing off the 20, and so long as we stay above the 20, there's a chance we could use it as a support and try to bounce from there, right? So that's it. We're neutral on the other side, 53.48. We've lost a lot of that positive momentum. We might make negative momentum, but again, we have the halving event coming in, so there could be a potential pullback or pre-pump below before the 12th, and then after the 12th, we could get another potential crash. So let's go to the 4-hour. What's happening on the 4-hour chart? Again, on the 4 hours, we were calling divergence on the 7th, price action to the downside. From then on, we haven't developed anything. We knew we were going to move down. We were slightly moving down, trying to rally, but failing, right? That was yesterday. And we talked about it yesterday. There's a chance we could go down. I put up an exit at 9,600, and I talked about that yesterday. If the market moves down, my exit is at 9,600. I told you guys what I got in at, when was the last in I had? 8,600? Yeah, that was my last in. And I told you I was going to exit at 9,600. Why didn't I exit up here? Because there was still a chance we could get another bounce. And 9,600, it was a certain percentage below the current price of Bitcoin where I was comfortable setting up an exit. And I was going to take pretty good profit, right? So, you could be too greedy and miss out on opportunities, but I rather play it in a more neutral area, right? Not too greedy, but also not too scared. So we broke below the 20 again, and we tried to touch it, and we failed, right? So we're moving lower. Sitting sold right now at 30.70 on the RSI. But on the 1 hour, you're going to see that we actually hit that 20, right? And we'll hit this area, 9,650, and we failed on it twice. So we failed. We started to get contracted between the 20 and the 9,650. And that contraction, we weren't able to get above the 20, and we weren't able to sustain that 9,650. So it became a mini triangle that put a lot of pressure on the price of Bitcoin, and it just cracked to the downside, right? Now, we did try to rally and get above this area again, but we failed and moved farther down. On this area, you'll see that we used that 9,564 as support. Right, and then we finally ended up breaking below on the tightness that's happening between the 20 and that 9,564, 9,565, right? So again, from then on, we hit that. We broke below fib nodes that we had already, particularly that 786. And right now, the next support we would have would be at at the 618 at 7,966, right? So again, we could find a potential bounce around this area, right, that we hit, because we do have a low here. So we hit this low, and from then on we started to climb. Or we could find some support here at this low, which if you see, and I'll just do this real quick, Alt-H, and you'll see that we did hit a bounce there on the green candle, right? It came here, and we bounced, and here we're also maintaining that area, and the next one we could get would be potential here, right, because we do have a low there. Which we could use as resistance, as again a support, and as you can tell, we're sitting right on that support. Now, we could trace a lot of supports, but I don't want to get the chart cluttered, and this might be minor supports, right? They're not major supports. So again, that's it for Bitcoin, really. Sitting extremely overbought. We talked about that. We have not been that overbought since March 12th. And when that happened on March 12th, we started to get the rally, right? That was this drop we had here. From then on, we rallied. So again, there's no reason why Bitcoin couldn't do a U, right? This U movement in a couple days. This was from March 12th to March the 20th. We could get something quicker happening because of the halving event. Now, again, consolidation is going to be key, right? We're downsloping consolidation. Hey, Troy, how's it going, man? Hey, Richard Kogel, how's it going? How about Ethereum to Bitcoin? Yeah, I can look at Ethereum to Bitcoin. Just give me 1 second. We have XLM before that. We have Litecoin, Binance, then XLM, then Ethereum to Bitcoin, and yeah. So in my opinion, buying it, Bitcoin for 8,633 sats is a steal. It is a discount right now, but again, there could be another leg coming in, man. There could be another drop coming in. We gotta wait for this to consolidate, right? We just had a major move to the downside like 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago. We gotta wait for the next movement, but we gotta consolidate now. Remember, downsloping consolidation, right? Any kind of downsloping consolidation, it's bullish in nature, right? You're going to get exhausted of that sell-off. And at some point in time, you're going to get a bounce. Have we bottomed yet? That would be your question. And I don't believe we've bottomed yet. So 8,660 plus, I don't believe it's a steal right now. I do believe you're taking a potential risk because this could still move down, man. This could still come down all the way down here, 8,000 areas, and you're going to be out $600, man. Instead, wait for something to develop, right? A divergence, a bearish divergence, right? That would mean maybe price could do something like this, right? We could maybe rally a little bit, drop, rally, drop. And we could be doing something similar over here where we make less negative momentum, then slightly more, then slightly less, then slightly more, etc., right? But this is going to generate us to have some kind of strong bullish divergence. And that would be a potential in, right? That would be an area to seek value, to get in, and try to get that bounce coming in. But right now, this is just starting to consolidate. We don't even know how's it going to consolidate, man. From here on, we start to like maybe go up a little bit, maybe go down a little bit. You know, we got to wait for something to happen. And this just happened, like I said, a couple hours ago. So we haven't gotten any kind of consolidation really happening yet. Right now, it just looks like it might be a downsloping consolidation, and you get exhausted of that. But we got to wait. And that's the whole point, right? And this is probably going to happen overnight. Remember what I said earlier. You probably weren't here. Europe's going to come in at 2 in the morning, looked at the markets down, and a lot of people that weren't paying attention and maybe didn't have stop losses are probably going to start panicking and start selling off. That's going to be 2 in the morning Central for me, 1 in the morning Eastern time, and then, you know, whatever time frame you're at, you might get something, right? But again, take it with ease. Don't panic, right? Don't go rushing in. Could it be a good in? Maybe, man. It could also be a very bad in if this hasn't finished going down. But we got to wait for consolidation, and we got to wait for something to develop. That's what I can tell you right now, and that's what I'm waiting for, man. I closed my position at 9,600. That was my out. I talked about that yesterday. Literally, go watch the stream. I said I might go out at 9,600 if this goes down. And I did caught it back in. I didn't catch the first 9,600. I didn't get this one. The one at like 2 in the morning or whatever it was, this one here. I ended up going out on this one, right? One of these ones, like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Because we're getting a bounce, right? We bounced off this 9,500 area. And I was saying, man, maybe we can get above that 20. And if we do, we still might go bullish. And there's no point in closing the position. So I waited for this to play out a little bit, right? And, you know, the next time we hit it and, you know, we were struggling with this area, I said, okay, that's enough. I'm going to close it. I closed it, and then from then on, it just tanked. So I'm happy, you know. I'm happy with what happened because I played to my plan. And that's something you got to do. You got to have a trading strategy. You have a trading plan. You got to have discipline to execute it, right? You have to have your potentials, right? For example, for me. And look, I'll just do this one real quick. I don't want to waste a lot of time here because we have a lot of the requests. We have to keep on moving through the market. It's on this chart. Yeah, it's on this chart. Look at this, man. Back here, I already deleted the comments that I had, but I was waiting for my in here, right, at 8,000, this green line, 8,800. I didn't go in because we were making bearish divergence, and I was waiting for a move to the downside to come in. The market did move to the downside, and, you know, I ended up going in later on. Again, with the same strategy. Because what, man, my last entry point was 8,900, this red line here. And I was seeing that we're facing divergence, man. So I was worried about if I go in, I was probably going to catch a movement to the downside. I was probably going to go in way too high on the price. And I didn't want to risk my money with that. So again, I just wanted to make sure that I was going to get my value for my money. So this went down. I said, okay, cool. Maybe it keeps on going down, but my entry point is still set at 8,800. So we'll wait and see what happens. We created some bullish divergence, right, I believe. And then from then on, we pumped to the upside. And then, you know, I cut this movement to the upside. Then I kept on riding it to the upside back here. And I ended up exiting somewhere, I think it was somewhere like 10,000 and change. Or like 9,000 and change. But again, you know, this was a while back. This was back in February. And then on, you know, here I told you guys my first entry was at 7,500. I exited at, I can't remember. I wrote it down at 8,900. Then I went back in at 8,600. And then I just got out, right? This is my take profit at 8,900 first. So I did write it down here, so, right? My entry, my take profit of the first movement. Then from then on, we crashed here, and I got in here at 8,600 again, and rode it to the upside, and then I got out at 9,600. So again, you know, and this was yesterday. You can check when I talked about this. You can go to any of these days that are here in the stream, and I'll tell you the dates that I marked. April the 7th, and then probably took profit somewhere on here. So either May the 2nd or somewhere on there. And then I talk about going back in here on May the 4th or May the 5th. And then, you know, from then on, you can go to yesterday and see where I talk about my exit at 9,600. So again, all this is verifiable on the previous videos, right? So if you like what we do, you know what to do. Hit that like, that bell, and that sub, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you, Zach Moza, for your wanting to check Bitcoin again and give me a time to go over it again. And we have a lot of people that probably hadn't seen it. I think this is the most people we had in the house ever, like 20 people, man. That's way too many people, man. Thank you guys for joining us again. Let's see. Someone else asked for XLM. All right, cool. But let me go through Litecoin real quick and Binance, and then I'll move on to XLM for sure, Robert. Right, I wrote it down. I do have it on queue, right? So Litecoin, what happened with Litecoin? Dominance. Yesterday it gained 0.47. Today it's losing 0.96, sitting at 1.17% of market cap. I really don't care too much about the market cap for Litecoin right now. I just mentioned it because we're doing it for the main coins that we look at, right? So it's good to look at it sometimes, but most of the times, market cap is really not directly related to the price of the asset. That's why I don't really care much for it. It just tells us how much that asset is of the market right now. So what's happening with Litecoin, right? Same stuff that's happening with the rest of the market. We called it divergence way back then. We called it here on the RSI as well by the 2nd. And then on, we just dropped from there. Hit the 20. We called it. We said, we're good. We're probably going to bounce. We did get that bounce, and then we dropped. Why? Because Bitcoin dropped. So right now we're going lower. Nothing to worry about. Sitting at $42.10. Starting to make negative momentum. Again, low, higher, low, negative momentum, less negative momentum, low on our RSI, higher on our RSI. Nothing bullish to call. Neutral at 42.31 on the RSI. Let's go to the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, we called this out yesterday, man. Look, we were live at 10 p.m. Yesterday was a very short stream. I went out, I think it was like 10:30, and I was already off the air. So I'll just trace this to where it actually finished. And we're calling this bearish divergence, this hidden bearish divergence. Action to the downside. We said we're probably going to hit the 20 and see what happens. Right on, right? We went, hit the 20, we tried to bounce, failed, and then we dropped. So again, not too good, right? Let's see, this previous island, we could we go to this previous island? Let me check real quick. 35 and 34. Right now, I'm in a little bit of a conundrum. I'm not sure if I should consider this as a valid island, because we do have this other island here that is small, but we do have this small positive momentum island here. So in theory, if I wanted to be really legit, I would go from here to here and said we don't have divergence, right? We're going from a low to a lower low with negative momentum to more negative momentum, and a low on the RSI to a lower point on the RSI. And if I was to feel extremely bullish, which I'm not, I would say something like this, right? We're going from a low to a lower low. I'm going to ignore this island because it was too tiny. And I'll go from here to here. And said that I'm having bullish divergence. In theory, it would be strong bullish divergence, but in the end, it would really be weak because we're almost at the same point, almost a flat line. So it's almost negligible, right? So again, I'm not going to call the divergence here right now in the 4 hours. I want to wait for this to consolidate and create a new candle, because the new candle that comes in could maybe drop this a little bit more, and it will get rid of that divergence anyways. Sitting oversold on their side, 28.23, right? Let's go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, look, we're calling this divergence, right? This strong divergence on the downside. We kept on moving, right? By midnight, we were up here, creating that strong divergence. Maybe here we just had weak, or maybe strong still. Yeah, let's see. 63.40, 63.07. So strong bearish divergence on both, right? That's why I tell you guys, keep on tracking, keep on looking as it keeps on developing. By the time we leave here, you'll just have a picture to that point in time. But as this keeps on developing, it will keep on building, and you got to keep on tracking that if you want to take a position, right? So again, we did create this strong divergence still. Broke us below the 20, struggled to get above, and we failed to get above the 20. We seek lower prices, and then from then on, we just tanked. Extremely oversold at 15.33. Again, there's a chance we could get a bounce, starting to get a green candle coming in. But again, downsloping consolidation, that's what it's looking like. We're going to get exhausted. That's it for Litecoin. I'm going to move on to Binance. Again, the market is just, like I told you guys, it's like one analysis fits most. What's happening with Binance? Yesterday, it lost dominance, 0.12. Today it's losing 0.56. It at 1.01% of market cap, 1% of market cap. The price of Binance, $15.11. Man, did it take a nasty hit? Yes. It was bouncing off the 20. We said, look, man, we just keep hitting the 20 and bouncing, but we're not doing much. We're really not even expanding the Bollinger Bands that much on the daily. Right? If we look at Bitcoin real quick, we're still expanding on the Bollinger Bands, which means volatility is still open, and we can get wild moves within this whole area, right? This lower Bollinger Band and this top Bollinger Band. So we know those movements could be expected. When volatility leaves the market, you get tighter, right? Just like Binance is, right? It's getting tighter, and the movements get constricted to those areas, right? And when volatility leaves the market, we expect wild moves. But again, volatility is leaving the market. Again, Binance is moving down, but not enough to expand the Bollinger Bands yet. and still getting tighter. Again, making a little bit more negative momentum. Low, higher, low, negative, less negative, low on the RSI, higher on the RSI. We don't have much going on. Now, we know it's a possibility. I said if Bitcoin tanks, this is going to tank. Bitcoin tanked, and of course, the rest of the market went with it. Here we called bullish divergence. That's the last thing we called, going up. Again, from here to here, we're going higher, more positive momentum, higher on the RSI. So we didn't have anything bearish. And this is why I told you guys, if Bitcoin's going to drop, this is going to drop because we didn't have anything bearish here. Right? The last thing we called was bullish. We did go up on that. From then on, just following Bitcoin and went down, right? Again, overbought at 27.82. Sorry, oversold at 27.82. So what happened here on the 8th? So yesterday, we called this by 7 p.m. So we went slightly higher, I guess we could say, right? But again, we still had that strong bearish divergence, action to the downside. Look, after the stream, right? We went down as expected. From then on, we tried to bounce, hit the 20, failed at the 20, simple moving average on the 1 hour. From then on, we just crashed, man. It just went downhill, right? Because we were too weak to get above that. And what I told you guys, we hit this, we don't get above, we look for lower prices. So we got that rejection coming in. Again, consolidation looking very much like Litecoin. Two red, one green starting to build. So a little bit down sloping, but really nothing we can trace, right? This is low, right? Negative momentum, right? To a lower low, much more negative momentum, right? And much lower on the RSI, sitting oversold at 16.36. Now, we did have a request from XLM from Robert, and I'm going to look at that real quick. So, Robert, here's XLM. XLM, I do have divergence. I do have the daily dominance for it. Yesterday, it gained 0.64% of market cap. Today is neutral almost. It's 0.76% of market cap. The market cap for XLM is 0.56% of the market. XLM at 6 cents. 6.37 cents. 374 cents. What's happening? Do we have stuff? Yes, man. Look, and spot on, right? I haven't opened this chart, I believe, since April the 20th, because I never charted anything else afterwards. And even though we have divergence here, I haven't charted it, right? But look what we hit, man. We hit the 786 at 755, right? 755 cents. And we rejected, right? We rejected with divergence. Now, we rejected this area. And sorry, I know you can always say that going back and doing previous analysis is easy. But I haven't looked at this coin in a while. And you know, this just confirms that we had divergence. And we had it in a key area, right? At a key resistance. And an area of retrace, right, on the fibs. And we started to retrace from that. Look, even on the movement down, we hit the support at 677, right, that we had. Spot on, man. That low actually hit 6764. So almost spot on there. From then on, we got some rejection, right, of lower prices. But again, we had divergence still playing to the downside. We tried to rally, failed to get above, and then Bitcoin, you know, crashing, bringing everyone down. Started making negative momentum. Less than the previous low. So again, we're cool. We don't have any kind of bullish divergence. Neutral on the RSI at 49.61. So let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, what's happening? We're getting this tank happening on the last 4 hour chart, just like the rest of the market. Again, spot on, right? We bounced on this area a couple times. We tried to get higher, but never closed above that 786 like in the past 3 candles. So again, very, very good chart. Very good fibs went through here way back when. I can't remember. It was a while back. And, you know, I haven't done this chart in a very long time now. This chart just has this very small positive momentum island. And something that I do like on this chart, we're going from a low to a much lower low. And just let me anchor this to the 4 hours. That way it's not going to be shifting to the 1 hour chart. And we're from negative momentum to less negative momentum. Right now, this can change. Because this negative momentum island is just starting to build. And the next candle, if it drops a little bit more, we can still have more. But right now, we would be having strong bullish divergence. That would mean potential price action to the upside, right? And again, we're going much lower on the RSI, so we really don't have anything there. Just neutral. Sold at 24.29. But again, this can get negated, right? Any movement of this to the downside will negate it, man. So just keep on watching this negative momentum as it keeps on building, and you'll get an idea whether or not you're going to have divergence, right? If it goes more than whatever this is, 743, right? That's 000743. This is 000548. So if it goes above that 743, that negative 743, you're going to lose that divergence if you're still pushing to the downside again. This is on Bitfinex, by the way, and that's the only chart I have for Litecoin, for XLM, Stellar. So let's go to the 1 hour. Alrighty. I don't like this chart. I do believe I have another one. Yeah, I do have another one. And I have gappage. And that's why I don't like this chart. On this chart, I had thrown stuff earlier, man. Let me go to the daily real quick. Yeah, on this chart, we had called this divergence, right? This is the previous chart we were looking at, where we had the fibs, which we respected, and then this is the other chart that I have, where I was calling divergence. And again, we did call this divergence spot on, right? Action to the downside. Again, we had it all over the place. Let me make sure I haven't called anything here. Here we called bullish, right? That's the last thing we called. That was on the 6th. We looked at this chart, and from then on, this bullish played out to the upside, and then we just crashed on probably divergence that we developed on the 1 hour. So let's go on the 1 hour. Why I don't like this chart, right? It has gapage. Look at this. These small dojis here. I'll zoom in. You'll see them a little bit better, right? We have information that is just empty, right? There were no trades happening. Very little trades happening. And we don't have anything on the charts. But when I go into this chart, you'll see that those get filled, right? So again, this chart is better for charting. That's why I like it much better. Now, we did call this bullish divergence action to the upside on the 1 hour. And again, that was on the 6th. So from then on, let's see, we went higher, positive, more positive. So higher still. It looked good until here. Probably we'll start to get downward pressure from Bitcoin, right? Creating divergence. From then on, we broke below 20, failed to get above, right? So you can see we fell here. We moved lower like we expect to move, right? Lower. We try to hit that again. We fail, so we move lower again, right? Slightly lower than the previous low. But again, every time we hit the 20 and we fail, we expect to move lower, right? And from then on, we just tanked. Why are we tanking? Bitcoin tanked, man. Consolidation is down sloping. So we're expecting for this to maybe get exhausted at some point in time. But again, we're still making negative momentum. So there's no chance of us really knowing what it wants to do right now. Sitting at 15.06% of market cap. At 15.06 on the RSI. That's it for Stellar. Now, I did get a request for Ethereum to Bitcoin. I rarely check, Richard, but thank you for asking. I'll look at your request of Ethereum to Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why I don't like to look for crypto to crypto trades, right? I don't like this on Binance. I don't like to look at crypto to crypto trades, because usually if you want to get out of crypto, you're going to get out to fiat or some kind of steady or stable asset, or you're going to cash out. The only way or the only reason why you would potentially want to move from Ethereum to Bitcoin or crypto to crypto is if you notice that that asset is going to lose value against your asset, and you're willing to increase your position on the other asset, right? Or increase your position on your asset once that change happens. But again, no problem. We can look at this. This is Ethereum to Bitcoin on Binance. Let me look at this on the daily real quick. What's happening here? I haven't charted this ever. So let's see. Okay, right. So we had bearish divergence. Yeah, Robert, no problem, man. Thank you for staying with us, man. Again, if you like what we do, hit that like, that bell, and that sub, right? We're here daily, man. Right, bearish divergence here. Action to the downside, we get it. Right, we got it. And then on, we try to rally, but failed, and that's fine. We don't have anything on the RSI. I'm just looking at the recent data. I'm not going to go look data way back, right? It makes no sense. Let's see, much lower, and then from then on, we tank below 20. That's fine. Do we have something here happening? Let's see. 507. 4. No, so low, higher low, negative momentum, less negative momentum, low on the RSI, higher on the RSI. We really don't have anything that's bullish here, man. Wait a minute. In theory, we're not lower on that RSI. Upon revision of the camera, I've determined that we don't have that. Let me just make sure this is going to be on the 1 hour. I don't want this coming in and cluttering my my 4 hour chart, right? And sorry about doing some cleanup, but again, it's key that I do this. Otherwise, when I go to the 4 hour chart, it's just going to be messy with data from the daily, right? And look at this, man. This is slightly higher. This is 31 on the RSI, right? So we went from 31 all the way down to 30. So slightly less, right? And we're opening up on the bottom part. And that would mean that is hidden bullish divergence. That would mean price continuation, potentially to the upside. And we're getting this small bounce. It's probably not as strong divergence or medium or weak divergence. But again, it's a divergence that we have that is bullish and that's happening. It's trying to pump up. Troy, what's trying to pump up? Bitcoin? $8,600. I'll look at Bitcoin after this. Alrighty, so sitting sold at 35.82. Let's go to the 4 hours, right? On the 4 hours, let's see what we can see here. Yes, all right, man. Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin. Remember, I told you we were probably gonna get some pullback, so let's wait. I'll go and check that out, man. Alrighty. Just here, more media in the 4 hours, right? This that I'm tracing is hidden bearish, right? You're going to a lower high, but you're taking much more momentum to get there, to that lower high. And that usually breaks you to the downside, right? So we're getting this candle coming in, right? But again, this didn't lose as much as, well, it is Ethereum to Bitcoin, so they both lost, just didn't lose much one against the other. And we would also have this hidden bearish here on the RSI. Neutral on the RSI at 40.40. Again, really, this would potentially mean to the downside. We did get it again. We know why we got it. This wick here that we have is probably because Bitcoin started tanking and then Ethereum probably followed. And by the time that was happening, probably Ethereum hadn't caught up, and we got this wick to the upside because Bitcoin was losing so much money against the dollar, but Ethereum was more or less steady, and then probably Ethereum started to crash. So we have that wick, that wick that was probably just a couple seconds in momentum by the time Bitcoin started to drop, right? So again, neutral on that RSI. Let's go to the 1 hour, man. Ethereum to Bitcoin. Here, what do we have? Bearish divergence, right? So going here, going higher, right? So high, higher, high. Then positive momentum to less positive momentum, right? So again, you're going higher, but you don't have that much momentum. So you're having strong bearish divergence. That would mean price action to the downside. You're going higher in price, but your momentum's weak, so you're going to lose. And we're breaking down on that. We would also have it on the RSI, right? That's congruent across the charts. Neutral on the RSI at, sold at 39, neutral at 40.27. Sorry, it was shifting. But again, we're floating between neutral and sold. Anyways, if we look at this, like I told you, this is going to be on the minutes probably. This is at 7 p.m., right? That's the time the market dropped. So I'm going to go into a 3-minute chart. And as you can tell, those wicks that I told you, right? Those wicks at 7 p.m., they were just a couple minutes, right? Minutes apart because Bitcoin was tanking and Ethereum hadn't caught up with it. That's the only way I could explain that wick because they should more or less be in sync. And in theory, Ethereum is losing a little bit more value than Bitcoin. But that's it, man. That's it for this. So I hope you're happy with that quick analysis. What was it, Robert? I think Richard Kogel. I believe. I hope you're happy with that. Again, like I told you, man. For me, there's no reason to get into from Bitcoin to Ethereum. If I'm gonna get out of crypto, I'm looking to get out to fiat to buy back in again. Rarely do I switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum to get back into Bitcoin again. To me, it makes no sense. I much rather put it somewhere safe. That is probably not gonna crash. Like Ethereum could crash against Bitcoin, or Ethereum and Bitcoin can crash. I'd much rather put it somewhere safe, right? So again, for me, doing analysis of Ethereum, like crypto to crypto, is not. To me, it makes no sense, right? To me, I mean, it could make sense to you if you're willing to take a trade because you believe you're going to increase your position in either of the coins that you're looking to trade to. But in my case, I put it back on fiat and then I put it back on crypto again, right? That's how I trade it because I don't want to be putting it on a riskier asset or another risky asset when what I want to do is mitigate that risk, put it back into fiat, and then be able to increase my position again by going from fiat to crypto. All right, let's go look at Bitcoin now. We got a warning that it was pumping from Troy. Alrighty, let's see, Troy. Let's look at what's happening here, man. It's all still, man. I forgot to put the music back in, or it stopped on its own, man. I don't know, man. Something happened with the music. Usually we have background music playing here, but let's play this. All right, let's go to the 1 hour. What are we getting? Are we getting pullback? No, man. Look, we're still downsloping consolidation, right? It's 11, so it's 11:01. So we just started this new candle, and we're still getting red. So maybe we got some pullback, right? But again, we're still closing above this area. That 8,000. What is it? I think this was like an old entry I had. 8,500. It looks like 8,521. So we got back up there, right? Robert Wood, just curious. What am I interested in? What am I interested in? What? Be a little bit more specific. Crypto, or hobbies, or what's your question, man? Again, Twitter going out right now. If you want to join us there as well. If you want to join us here and stick with us the next couple of days, we are here live every night, man, at 10 p.m. Central. 10 p.m. Central. So if you want to join us, I'll hit that like, that bell, and that sub, right? Again, sorry if I repeat that too much, but we have a lot of people fluctuating in and out. And it's really weird, man. The little, like, I do have a subscriber notification, and it's weird. Sometimes it doesn't pop up when people subscribe. But it's a little, like, I believe it's Barney Stinson saying what's up. But yeah, I haven't gotten it, man. It's weird. Sometimes it doesn't show up for some reason, man. It's freaking weird. We're sitting at 199 subs, guys. You are amazing. Let's see if we can break 200 subs, man. It's been a struggle. I've been below 200. I've been at about 190 subs for like the past 2 months, man. It's just been insane to like get above that area. But thank y'all for joining us tonight. Again, we have quite a few people joined in tonight. So we had like 20 people in and like 56 playbacks. All right, so Robert came back with his answer. What crypto am I interested in? All right. JW, so just wondering. I am interested in Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and Binance. See, there we go. Richard Kogel subscribed. So, yeah, we got 200, man. Awesome. Yay. 200 subs. Thank you for that sub, Richard. Means a lot, man. 200 subs. Spot on. Look at that. 200. Woo. Yeah, man. That's amazing. Finally 200 subs. Man, that was a struggle, man. Anyways, what crypto? Yes. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Binance. I do have some Lumens. I have some Mana from Decentraland. And what else do I have, man? I gotta look at my portfolio real quick. I don't have it with me. But I do have some other small coins that are not a lot. I have a very small position in XLM, really. I'm trying to liquidate it. I'm just waiting for a good opportunity. I got it free. It was an airdrop at blockchain.com or blockchain, whatever it was. So I got some free XLM there. And I just haven't moved it. I should probably like liquidate it though and buy something else. But I do have XLM. Mainly, I would tell you that I have an experiment going on with XRP where I have a hodl bag and then a trade bag. And my hodl bag I haven't touched, and right now it's not doing that good. But my trade bag is doing good. And my experiment is long term, see which bag does or gains me more money. And right now it's looking like my trade bag is going to gain me more money because I've been able to get up some good trades on XRP. Now, why am I doing that? Some people say hodl, some people say trade. I'm just doing both, right? I am hodling in one pocket, and then I'm trading with another pocket, and I'm just gauging which one's performing better. Some people say that it's better if you never trade it and you just hold it, and over the long term, you're probably not going to miss on those ins and outs. For me, really, on XRP, the ride has been better by trading, not by hodling. And I do like XRP, but I'll say I'm not hard. I like XRP and I will defend it to a certain extent because I do believe all cryptos have their place in crypto, in the crypto sphere. But I'm not going to be a hardcore, like, this is the greatest digital asset ever created, XRP the standard, XRP to the moon, you know. I like XRP, and I'm going to defend it as well as I would defend any other crypto because each one has its own individual quirkiness and perks to it and things that they do better than others, right? I do believe XRP has a good use case. It's being used by MoneyGram. Ripple's getting accepted by some banks. Ripple's going to launch an IPO. You know, unfortunately, having XRP does not entitle you to anything that Ripple does. But if they cannot really get XRP to take off by offering it as on-demand liquidity, they're going to do all the transactions with blockchain but not using crypto. And they're probably going to work the same, right? Or using some kind of blockchain technology to do them. So again, that's probably what I'm looking for. If Ripple does come out with an IPO, I'm going to be trying to buy some stock on Ripple, actual Ripple. What do I think about Dash, man? I've never followed it, to be honest. Thank you for asking, though, Richard. I never got into Dash. I never held any Dash. One of my neighbors had mining rigs for Dash. And I think he lost money on the mining rigs. So that's part of the reason that I never believed in the project, man. Mainly because he had a bad experience, right? You invest in XRP, XLM, and Bitcoin. That's good, Robert. I do believe they're solids, man. Remember, you want to be diversified with this. You want to be diversified. We had a guy here the other day. I think it was Chats with Decentralized. He's a co-founder or co-creator of DVT, which is a very small crypto, right? There's these coins that are so tiny that we can make a lot of money. And Bitcoin Jake's here probably. I'm not sure if he's still with us. But he's invested on that, and he made like, I think, 24% profit yesterday. The sad thing is that I cannot chart it here, and the project just trades in one exchange. And for me, that is, although I do want to get into it, because I do believe it could be a potential good in, it's like, it costs like 0.00003 cents. Like, I think it's like 3 or 4 zeros. So with like $10, you get like 33,000 pieces, right, of DVT. Those small projects, like to put such a small amount of money, it's like a bet, right? You're placing a bet on a project that is so tiny that it could potentially go to the moon at someday and really make you a lot of dough. That's why I want to get in. The only thing I don't like is just on one exchange, man. That's the only thing that bothers me. And the fact that it's on one exchange, it means that it could be, if that exchange stops selling it, it becomes so illiquid, man. You gotta find someone that's willing to trade for you, with you for that asset, and you're probably gonna have to meet him on a chat and agree that he should transact that money to you, and then you're gonna perform that transaction to him, and then those transactions can go south very quick. One of them can get scammed out of the money. So for me, until they get on another exchange, maybe 1 or 2 more exchanges, those projects for me are like a little bit of red flag, right? It also depends on how much volume they get traded in a day. If it's a low trading asset, I'm not gonna look into it that well, because that means if I take a position in it, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to liquidate it, because there's not a lot of people willing to buy and sell it. Or the market could be going down and no one's willing to buy it until it gets lower, and by that point, by the time you sell, it's bottomed, and you're probably just gonna ride it to the upside, right? So again, there's some projects that are really not worth getting into. I'm not saying DVT is one of those. I do believe DVT is a potentially good project, right? But I really want to see it in a couple more exchanges before actually going on an asset. If it trades on one exchange, or I'm a little bit more worried. This prize, Fatty, how's it going, man? Thank you for joining us. Robert, you have heard of Dog Coin? One of my friends were talking about it. Yeah, Doggy Coin, right? Dodge, DOGE. This one, Doggy. Yeah, that started as a joke by a college professor, I think. And I wouldn't go into it, man. It's old. It's been going on for a while. Look, we'll look at Doggy in a while. Sorry, Fatty, man. I'll talk about the price in a second, man. This was Doggy, man. When it started, it was almost 0, right? Like back here, like 002. Right now, after many, many years, it's just 002. It's lost almost a lot of value, right, to the highest point. I have Doggy, man. I have some Dog Coin. I got it free. I got it from like Faucets, I think, and then that's it. I'm really not willing to put money into Doggy Coin. Fai, thank you for joining us, man. Again, what's happening with the price? Yes, man. We talked about this right a couple days ago. Bitcoin on the daily. We had divergence, remember? On the 7th. We talked about potential price action to the downside. Yesterday, I talked about my exit at 9,600 if this crashed. And we talked about this bullish going up. We hit the 20 and we failed, right? That was on the 7th, on the 8th, yesterday. So by the time we were in the stream was here, we failed at the 20, man. Afterwards, it just plummeted. One below that 9,650 area. Right? From then on, it failed to get above it again, and it just crashed. Is this a new low? We're consolidating, man. We gotta wait, Fatty. That's what's happening. Right? Look at this. We hit the low, right? We hit the crash. Consolidation, down sloping. We get exhausted from that at some point in time. We try to bounce, right? Look at this, starting to neutralize. Even though we're going slightly lower, we're making less negative momentum, right? So what could happen is, I think I talked about this a little ago. We could get one of these where we try to bounce, go slightly lower, bounce, go slightly lower, like that, right? And then over here on the momentum, we lose that momentum, then we gain a little bit, then we lose, then we gain a little bit, right? Something like that. And then we create bullish divergence, right? And then from then on, we pump. That's what I'm looking for right now before I go in again. That is what I would be looking for on Bitcoin, right? And it would be something similar happening on the RSI. We could get potential bullish divergence. Right now, we're starting to consolidate. Just been 4 candles, right? And this one's still developing. So we could get another leg down, right? That's also a possibility, that we get an impulse down, we consolidate down sloping, and then sometimes Bitcoin tends to crash again, right? Like I said, Europe's probably going to come online at 2 in the morning, for me, my time. And Europe might wake up and be scared that the price of Bitcoin is so low, and they start to sell also, and that could potentially bring a lower price, right, by 2 in the morning. So we could get another movement. This was Asia, man. 7 in the morning was Asia time. 7 p.m. for me. It's probably around 7, 8 in the morning in Asia, and usually we get drops at that area, right? So usually main movements on crypto, right? Time frames, guys. 7 p.m. Central. That's usually when we get movements. 2 a.m. Central, and then 7 or 8 a.m. Central. Usually those times it's Asia, Europe, and America coming online. And when those countries come online, we get movements on trading. Afterwards, we get some noise happening, maybe some post-market movement. But the main movements happen at those time frames, right? And you see, this is 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Again, 2 or 3 in the morning, we get this drop. This rise happening at this happened around midday. But again, most movements happen at that time frame, right? Look at this back here on the 12th. What time frame did we crash? 4 in the morning. This was Europe crashing at 4 in the morning. It's weird for us to get this, but we're getting already downward pressure coming in. Now on the daily, right? Look, like I was telling you, right? We're moving down right now. We could get a leg down, then we consolidate for a day, and then we can get another leg down. Right, so I wouldn't rule out something like this happening, right? That's why I said, Fatty, we have to wait for consolidation to happen. Look here, we also have it, right? We move down, we try to consolidate upsloping, then we move down again, right? On probably divergence that we developed. I just gotta look at different charts because I have different stuff on different charts, right? But we could also get one of those things where we drop and then we just pump, right? Like here, we took this massive drop, right? Boop, and then we pump back up again. You know, we still haven't determined what Bitcoin's going to do. That's why we're looking at consolidation to happen before we actually determine what we believe could potentially happen here. Like I said, we had divergence on the daily. We had divergence on the 4 hour, right? We called this one out, man. And we had divergence on the 1 hour, man. Bearish. Actually, the downside here. This was tiny, though. Then we called bullish. We failed here at the bullish divergence, right? Hidden bullish at that. And then we broke down from that. But here, man, yesterday here at 10 p.m., I was talking about exiting at 9,600, dude. I did believe the price was going to go low. Right, that's why I was talking about it. Now, I didn't go out here in the morning, right? 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Like I told you guys, I went out here at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Why? Because we hit this area, right? This support. I did, and on this chart, we hit that 9,564 spot on. Now, this has been up for a while. We hit it spot on, right? So I was waiting for this to develop, then we started to get this bounce, right? So I said, well, good, man. We'll probably get above the 20. See if we got this trampoline to go higher. We failed to do that. We moved down, and here's where I ended up liquidating my position, right? Around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Saying, that's it, man. I'm out of Bitcoin right now. And then 2 hours after that, this just completely went ballistics to the downside, man. Thank you guys for joining us again. You guys are amazing. You guys made me reach 200 followers today, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Richard, for that. Richard Kogel for that sub, man. That really, really made my 200 today, man. You guys are awesome, bro. For reals. I do believe this might be it for today. Fatty, I hope that answered your question, man. I'm not sure if it's a new low yet. We're waiting for this to consolidate and see what we might do, man. You know, it's weird that when you have downsloping consolidation, you break farther down. You usually get exhausted and pumped to the upside, right? Downsloping consolidation is a bullish sign. But rarely enough, sometimes Bitcoin says, I don't give a damn, and it just goes down lower, man. Now, why is this a problem in crypto right now, right? Because we do have the halving event. It could potentially be a bullish event. So we could consolidate briefly to the downside, create quick divergence, and then pump from there, right? Because we do have the halving happening on the 12th. So 3 days away, right? Tuesday, halving event happening for Bitcoin. And then we're going to see really what happens, right? A lot of people are going to start taking profit. Like we said, miners are going to get half of their rewards. They're not going to be making their money if the price doesn't double. So what needs to happen is they're probably going to start selling their stocks of Bitcoin so they can keep operating, and then they're going to flood the market with Bitcoin. That's going to crash the market a little bit because there's going to be an oversupply of Bitcoin on the market, and there's just not going to be that much demand. And and the price is just gonna end up going down, right? Yeah, oversupply Bitcoin, yeah, and the demand's not gonna be there to meet it. So with that much supply, you know, price crash. So that's one of the possibilities that could happen after the halving. But that's why I'm hawking, looking like the price non-stop, man, setting up alerts. Right now, I'm looking for my next in. Right, I told you guys my ins. 7,530-ish. Got out at 8,900. Then I got back in at 8,600-ish. Exited at 9,600. I'm waiting for my new in. I'm waiting for my new in to make more dough on Bitcoin or whatever, man. And if it doesn't come in, I'm already in fiat. And if it comes in, then I'm in a position to be able to take another. Sorry, Spotify, it's coming in. If it comes in again, I'm in a position to really go into crypto again, right? And probably get that movement to the upside. But guys, thank you for joining us. I think, Fatty, if you don't have any other questions, or if any of you guys don't have any other questions, I think I might just call it a stream for tonight. So let me know in the chat if you want to have, something, if you want to talk about something, and we'll definitely talk about that, right? Otherwise, I will be calling it a stream for tonight. So it depends on you guys. If you guys have questions, you want to look at something else, we'll look at it. If not, that's it. I'll just look real quick at gold and silver. Markets are closed, I know that. Yeah, market closed. See up there? Market closed. We ended up above the 20. Sorry, that's in the 1 hour. On the daily, we're still above the 20, right? Ranged. We talked about this yesterday. Also below the 100%, right? Back when. So 1,704, below that. So I'll just look at the markets real quick, right? We know, what was the last thing we looked at? Oh, by the way, I'll look at JCPenney. Benny, I'm not sure if you're with us today, brother. I haven't seen you in the chat. But you look at JCPenney, bro. Remember how we said this was going to go lower? Right now we're creating still bullish divergence, right? We just haven't created a negative momentum. This could still go down a little bit. Then we could target. But again, like I told you, man, JCPenney wasn't a good in at 24 cents, 20 plus cents, 40 cents, 24 cents. I can't remember when you got in, Benny, but I told you this wasn't a good play, man. And these stores, brick and mortar stores, are the ones that are going to be hurting right now with the COVID because they don't having their sales. They're going to probably end up reporting losses in the quarter, and it's going to take them a while to make up the losses. And particularly trades or companies like JCPenney, 4 days to the next earning report, right? So they're probably going to end up publishing a certain amount of losses, and it's not going to look good, man. It might end up, here it is, right, earning report on the 14th. It's probably not going to be good for JCPenney. And that could bring the price down a little bit more, and then it could be a potentially good in. But again, brick and mortar right now suffering the most with COVID, taking many hits, and we don't know yet how they're going to recover, how fast they're going to recover, and that's going to be key for them, their performance, to really determine what their price action is going to be, man. And depending on how many people go buy right after COVID, a lot of people might still have that sentiment of fear, and they might still be a little bit careful going out because there's still COVID going on around. Just because the numbers have decreased and the economy is reactivating doesn't mean that you're safe, right? It just means that you're less likely to get COVID, but you can still get it in the end. So a lot of people, I do believe, might still take it slow to go back shopping and to go back to normal things like they were before. So we're probably looking at that, but maybe mid-July or August, I believe, we could potentially be looking at some kind of regular thing happening, right? So again, this stores could still be hurting for mid-year or semestral 6 months reports, right? Thank you guys for joining again. This is Stellar Crypto. I'm your host, Martin. Guys, it's been a real pleasure being here with you guys tonight. We got a lot of people coming in. I think at some point in time we had like 20 plus people, 65 playbacks, 200 subs. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight for this awesome stream. You guys are amazing. I hope you're having a great Saturday. If you were able to liquidate your Bitcoin position and take profit, good. If you shorted Bitcoin and took profit, good. If you didn't have a trading strategy, I would really encourage you to develop a trading strategy and stick to it. Thank you all for watching again. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of the State of Crypto. That's going to be it for tonight. Again, I'm your host, Martin. A pleasure being here with you guys tonight. Until then.